this week I cooked. Oh, crazy. I used my stove.
I'm going to fall over. Welcome to the Cue the Mic, episode 4.
Episode 4. We've done it.
Wow.
We're starting a streak.
Did you think we'd ever get this done? Do you think we'd ever make it past 1, Emma?
I was a little worried there for a while. The time between us recording episode 1 and episode 4 is quite a lot. But we've done it. We're here. And we actually have listeners, so shout out to you guys.
Oh, so we're past 1. We're past 1. I mean, I know my mom's probably listening. Hi, Mom. But we got more
Hi
than
to my
one.
mom, too. Yeah. We got, last I checked, so by the time I've checked, it's May 4th or all of our episodes have been out for about 2-3 days. Well, no. Our first 2 episodes been out last couple of days. And we're at like 82 downloads or something, so people are listening. We've got subscribers on YouTube. We got likes. We got 80-some views on an episode. That's, at this point, more than I expected.
Well, and, special shout-out to the people that have kind of endured. This is something new for us. And, we're learning something every time. For you in the past, you haven't seen the mic in my face. And our good friend Greg Rempe over at the Barbecue Central show, he sends me some feedback and says, hey, Darren, get that mic in front of your face because your audio quality is more important than anything.
Which I would really like to thank him for that because I said that. And Darren's like, it's fine. Yeah, I've been telling you that since the beginning. You're like, I don't want this mic in front of my face. You can't see it. I'm like, that's not why they're listening. It's not for your pretty face.
And I found that we've been through trials and tribulations. I mean, of course, Darren, you need a new webcam. So I go buy a webcam. And it's like top-of-the-line webcam. And doesn't stream very well. So I go back and have to buy another webcam. And, get to the smaller version, which I'm not used to buying.
Yeah.
And now it seems to be work. So now I'm not fuzzy. I got a mic in. I'm not too shiny today. I probably need some blush.
Yeah. A little stage makeup.
Makeup.
We're learning as we go. I won't have to edit the audio quite so much, which sounds like fun for me.
So what are you gonna do in your spare time?
Oh, I still have to edit. I can guarantee that. But just not so much your voice.
Darren likes to rip off some words at Emma and says things that maybe Emma doesn't want everybody to hear.
So far, honestly, we've only cut things that I've said. Not even that they were bad, but I just get a little nervous now that it's out in the world and I don't want all that stuff on the internet, so I gotta cut it.
All right. So anyway, people don't want to listen to us talk about us.
Right.
Well, maybe they do.
They might. They might.
It's kind of interesting. I've been in town for like 10 days. Mm-hmm. And for all you listeners out, that's kind of a world record. We're approaching world record status because normally I am on the move and just, Haley's moving into a new house and we've just been around. Mm-hmm. And so, lots of things. I've almost got everything that's broke. I've pretty much got it fixed. This morning I was in there 6 o'clock this morning working on a can opener, replacing the parts on a can opener. And then we get it all and I'm go to open a can and it still wouldn't open the can. And we look down and we find out that the whole bracket is busted. So I did all the internal parts of this can opener for nothing. It was just the bracket.
I was sleeping.
Yeah. Early to bed, early to rise. You know how that works.
Yeah.
So anyway, everything's kind of crazy day at Smokey D's. I just had to escape. I mean, we had so many caterings going out. We had 75 racks of ribs alone, which is kind of abnormal for catering. And those bastards in the kitchen made me cut every single one of those.
Yeah. Well, they had me deliver. Like, that's when you know it's bad.
When it's really busy?
Yeah.
When Emma's delivering.
Yeah. When they send the marketing girl out to actually communicate with people in real life. That's when That's when you know it's busy.
Yeah,
I've only been asked maybe 4 times to help with the catering.
She gets a little nervous, and sometimes you got to talk her through it. Emma's so I don't know. She worries about it a lot more, and I'm like, just go out, put the stuff on the table like you know how to. Look at the invoice and tell the customer, hey, we got everything that's here. Make sure everything's correct before you leave the door, just like I do with everybody else going out the door.
Right. Yeah, no, it was fine today. I went out to Casey's, and they were nice. I was more in awe of their office. I was going to come back and talk to you, actually. I think we could use a remodel. I could use a new work environment.
Yeah. That's her signal for, I really want to work from home. Can you pay for my internet?
No. That's not true. It'd just be nice to have a pond or something. They had a pond with baby ducks.
You're sitting, Emma.
Yeah.
You're sitting in an office at a warehouse, and
yeah,
you
I know.
want a pond.
Well, it would be nicer to look at, I think. I stare at the same trophies every day.
Well, then move them around. There's plenty. Recycle them.
Yeah, I probably should.
Yeah.
Some of them are getting a little old.
So anyway,
dusty.
crazy. Its graduation season coming up. I'm not sure what today was. I mean, there must have been 20, 25 caterings on the books. I mean, it was just, it was pretty nuts. But, you know, Jim and the crew back there, they just executed flawlessly. I mean, by the time they get all excited and you know, all nervous and want to make sure everything's right. And then when everything's out the door at noon and all the vans are gone, he goes, wow, that was pretty easy. Yeah, it was pretty easy. No sense in getting worked up about it.
Yeah. So he's been doing it a long time, though.
He has. And does the work of 10 people, I think. So he's just, you know.
He's a workhorse.
Yeah,
love to see it.
So. And which has allowed me to go out and not be in town for 10 days.
Yeah.
You know, a lot.
But yeah, that's true. So yeah, restaurant, crazy. Is there anything else going on down there? I haven't been down there. Today's the first time I've been down there in a while. I tend to stick in my office.
You know, we're trying to get a few menu items on. You know, we're trying to up our salad game. So we've got we've always had a regular salad, and we've had a chef salad that we started doing, but we just put it in the merchandiser. In carry-out kind of selling. And they've been selling really good. So we're going to throw that up on the line and kind of do those fresh. So, you know, smoked turkey and ham and egg. Just a normal chef salad. But we're also going to put a crispy chicken salad on the menu. So we've got, you know, chicken tender. I mean, we have the greatest chicken tenders in the world right now. Just because they're breaded with Captain Crunch.
Right. I was going to say, we have two different, Smokey D's and the Honor Chicken are very different. So I feel like you can't say they're both the best. And I would pick.
Yeah, I can.
The Honor
What
Chicken.
would you pick?
Can you?
What would you'd pick?
The Honor Chicken tenders.
I would pick the Artery Chicken ones too, but the Smokey D's ones are super unique.
They are
just people love them.
Yeah. It is. They are nice. Dip those in some honey mustard. It's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, so we're gonna launch a crispy chicken salad hopefully next week. Waiting on the media boards and menu stuff and all that. Not media boards, menu boards and things like that to get redesigned. You know, when you're a big restaurant like us with 84 employees, it's not super easy to put new items on the menu because it's not just one or two people that need to know about it. It's 84 people. Right. So everywhere from the cash register to the food runners to the people on the line to prep in the kitchen. I mean, it's just it's just crazy. And that's why we don't change a lot of things. I wish we did. But it's just hard. I could spend my full time doing that. Yeah.
Well, and with my position, I'm kind of the one that I don't run the board, but I do help construct a little bit. And when he says things like this, it stresses me out, not because I'm not excited, but because that means normally we should probably take something off, but we can't, you know? It's just one of those. We're just in one of those positions of where we have so much stuff on our menu boards. It's just, they're outrageously busy, and all the stuff is good, and it all sells. So it's just like.
It all sells. Yeah. Nothing ever seems to go. we sit in meetings and go, well, we don't really sit in meetings, but I look at analysis
sit
and
like
stuff
this.
and say,
Yeah.
what are we going to take off? Let's see what's not selling. And, oh, well, that still sells
Yeah.
good. And, oh, that still sells good. And business is just crazy. It's just busier than ever. And, I think we found our niche. Our niche is going to be, we're not going to be the best barbecue in the world, but we're going to be the most consistent, and we're going to keep it fairly priced. And I think that niche has paid off big time for us.
I agree. Because, that leads you to leave. I mean, we have fish on still. It's May, and we have fish on the menu that was supposed to end at the middle of April.
At the end of Lent.
Yeah,
well,
Lent.
But
it just sells.
But people love
good.
it. And so I'm like, hey, if you love it,
Our
I'm not
fish
here to
is
take it away
good.
from you. We'll figure out how to do fish.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So
And
anyway.
I think it's, yeah. What
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think it's fun. I think it's funny now that you're working so hard to get a crispy chicken salad, up on the menu at the restaurant. When I pitched this idea for when we did a monthly honorary chicken, way back when, and Darren thought I was crazy for trying to put fried chicken tenders on a salad. He's like, that defeats the purpose. I'm like, it's delicious, and we just couldn't get it. We couldn't agree. Surprise.
Because at Smokey D's, only 20% of that business is going to be carry-out business. 80% is going to be dined in. At the Ornery Chicken, over 50% of that business, well, really 100% of that business is carry-out or delivery business. So I'm just worried about the customer. I just want the customer to have the best experience. So if that chicken sits there waiting on that DoorDash driver to pick it up for 45 minutes, and it's just going to wilt the lettuce, it's going to be crap.
Well, that's why it was cold. Okay, and he would call me crazy for that.
We're not.
That's how it was served. Leave a comment. Find us on Instagram. Leave a comment on the post. If you think it's crazy to put cold fried chicken on a salad, you can call me out. But I thought that was so normal, and that was one of our.
How about we say, would you rather you like it hot or cold? Because everybody likes cold fried chicken.
Right. Well, the problem with traveling was that you think that the hot wasn't good. Then
right. So
we should just.
So, but the problem with quality is, if I cook up 50 chicken fingers first thing in the morning and cut them up and throw them in the refrigerator and I don't use them all, and then tomorrow. So how do you keep up with that inventory versus if it's always hot and fresh? You got to think about the customer, Emma. Think about the customer.
I'm thinking about me. And those salads were my favorite. And you just
this one's really good because
we have kind of brought them back though.
I tested it the other day and it was good. And sometimes it takes, they've been fighting me forever about the amount of dressing that needs to go on a salad. And we've always sent out like 2.5 ounces of salad dressing. I'm like, it's fine. We don't need to drench it. Until I ate the salad, and I'm like, I really need 4 ounces of dressing here. So guess what?
Yeah.
We're going to get 4 ounces of dressing. Yeah, 4 ounces.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so it's good. But, speaking of the DoorDash, I was sitting waiting for an appointment today, and I was reading this article about DoorDash, and it just makes me fume. I mean, and it's a huge part of our business. Not a huge part of our business. It's Smokey D's. It's a huge part of our business, or a small part of our business. At the Ornery Chicken and Crafty Mac, the Ghost Kitchen, it's a pretty significant part of our business.
It's almost half of, is it not?
Yeah,
if not more.
Almost half. Right. So I'm sitting there reading this article about how DoorDash is going to implement a process that if restaurants don't charge the same exact price on DoorDash that they charge in-house in their restaurant for dine-in orders, that they're going to move you down on their thing so people don't see you. And so a little history. If you look at DoorDash, okay, and we get a really good deal with DoorDash. DoorDash charges us as a customer, they charge us as a business 21%. Okay, and we're kind of on the low end of the scale just because of how much business we do. I mean, we do. Right. I mean, overall, we do close to $10,000 a week in DoorDash orders. So they charge us 21%. So they're wanting us as the business to eat that 21%. Okay, they want us to eat that 21%. Well, today what happens is, to be totally transparent, our 21%, we actually mark our food up 29%. And people are like, why would you do 29%? And I'm like, because if you do the math, so let's take a $10 order that's in the restaurant. And we take a $10 order and they're going to charge me 21%. That means they're going to pay me $7.90, right?
Yeah.
If I mark that up, I need to mark it up 29%. So my $10 order, if I mark it up 29%, I'm $12.90 for that order. In order for me to get, and once they take 21% of that, I'm back to $10. So we end up having to charge 29% in order to cover just our base cost of a 21%. I'm just trying to cover my what, so it's equal that you order it on DoorDash minus, I pay or if you're paying the expenses, that I'm still getting my $10 because, people don't realize in the restaurant business that, margins aren't, you don't make 30 or 40% in the restaurant business in the service. I mean, just typical, kind of little keys to successful restaurant. In a barbecue business, you run close to a 40% food cost. Labor will always cost you 25%. Rent's going to cost you anywhere from 6 to 10%. So you start, and you haven't paid the electric bill or the gas bill or the utilities or anything associated with, and haven't paid for a social media gal. Ooh.
Hey.
And all that stuff. But you come down to, if you're doing really, really well in the restaurant business, you can hit 10%. Okay, so DoorDash is now expecting me to eat 21% on every order. So instead of making 10%, they're saying we want you to lose 21% on those orders. And the most frustrating part of it is they're providing a service to a consumer that doesn't want to get off their couch, right? So, and I'm all for it. I mean, I don't use DoorDash a lot, but, and Emma maybe has in the past, but maybe not quite so much. But anyway, but we're providing a service to them so they can, it's convenience, right? Convenience. They want somebody to come drop it off. But DoorDash's business is down because people are going, wow, this is expensive. I'm just going to get off my couch and go get it myself. So their business is falling. Right. So what do? They go back to the restaurant and say, hey, we're going to screw you, and we're going to we're going to take you down. And I'm like, it makes no sense.
Right. And especially since they have all of these spots where they could up, their service fees. They'd even charge you still the additional 15%, I think, for a service fee. Just so.
Is that what they charge? Is that what they charge?
I think it's 15. I'd have to double check, but they when you hit that service fee, there's a little info button and it says we take this much to keep DoorDash running. So they have a spot that they even take out additional money. And
so let's take that. So of
the
all
service
the revenue
fee is what triggers me.
Of all the revenue they do, right? Yeah. So they're taking 21% from me. They're taking 15% from you, right? That's 36%, and it's 100% computerized.
Yep.
31%, and the poor DoorDash driver, they used to get paid $2 plus tips. I think now they're up to $4 per tip. Mm-hmm. So they're getting $4 out of that, and it's just asinine. It's crazy. Right. And I don't understand their end game because, ultimately, if somebody wants a convenience, they should pay for it. I expect that. It's like Amazon. I don't expect that I should pay the same price on Amazon. Instead, if I want to go up to Walmart or wherever and buy an item, I probably should pay more because you're going to deliver it to my front step. Now, that's not always the case. Right. A lot of times, Amazon, in order for people to sell, they've got deals or whatever that they're putting on. But it's just crazy. There's convenience, and convenience comes at a cost.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those things, especially since my generation does, I think, struggle to see that sometimes. And yeah, like it is my generation that is having these issues, and it's just, and I have, I feel like, a really unique perspective because I see it from both sides, right? I use DoorDash a good amount,
Frequently.
and then I wouldn't say frequently, okay? I would not say frequently, but I do check the app a lot, and then I see it from the back end, and I will say, since actually being like working with DoorDash and kind of being one of our DoorDash maintenance whatever people, I have definitely used it less because I see what I can see, yeah, like how that's all of that stuff kind of works together, and it's kind of weird to me because I do think that DoorDash and other third-party delivery services do kind of manipulate it to make it look like they are the good guys when really, yeah, they're just stealing money from everybody. Not stealing, but and it's
but they are stealing because in the essence, if they were to go to me and say, "Hey, I want to list you, and I want you to pay 7.5%." Okay, so let's say I had 7.5%, and we're going to only charge 7.5% to the consumer.
Yeah.
To me, would I take DoorDash at 7.5% for additional business? Yes. Would I take it for 21% when you're already charging 15% to the backside? That's just crazy. I mean, somebody has to be getting rich, and if they're not getting rich, then it's time to look at their overhead because it's 100% computerized.
Yeah. It's just crazy, and for them to say that or to be like, "We're not gonna show you," it's a weird, like, we have more power over you kind of thing that I don't like, that they're trying to be like, well, you're not going to pay us. We're not. And like, I get it, but it's like,
I don't get it.
supposed to be. Well, I get it, like, from like they're just trying to, I get it from like well, we're offering you a service as well, but really it's not that much of a, I mean, it is one of our biggest services. I guess I don't know how to word it, but they're doing like such a small part of the bigger picture, but they want to get more credit, I guess, for not doing as much, in a sense. I don't know if I'm saying my thoughts right, but
Yeah, I understand. So the moral of the story is, if you're using DoorDash, right?
Yeah.
Go search up your favorite restaurants. Figure out who's on it. Search them, because you'll come up. You may not come up in the front scrolling, okay? And it's kind of like the discount thing. They're always trying to get you to discount and free delivery and all this stuff to entice, because people buy into that. What was that company? What was the company years ago that came out with all the coupons? And so they tried to get you to offer 50% off deals.
Are you talking about Groupon?
Groupon. Are they still around?
I don't know. Actually,
I'm guessing not. But Groupon came to us and said, "Hey, we want you to offer 50% off." And I'm like, "Why would I do that?" And they're like, "To get more people, new customers in the door." And I'm like, "Yeah, but that doesn't make a long-term customer, because it just like DoorDash. If you go to Groupon, what are you doing? You're continuously going to Groupon to find the next 50% deal." Well, companies can't do the 50% deal, right? There's nobody can do that. So you offer a one-time 50% Groupon deal, which I didn't. I mean, my niece, I think, even worked for Groupon, and I'm like, hell no.
Yeah, no.
But it's the same type of thing, that they just expect that somebody else is going to pay for the service, because it wasn't creating long-term customers. It was just creating people that were getting 50% discount on their food everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good, And in DoorDash, would it be helpful from like a marketing standpoint if we did show up towards the front? Yes, obviously, especially since we're two really small, not chained ghost kitchens specifically. Let's talk about the Crafty Mac and the Honorary Chicken. It would help us immensely. But the Honorary Chicken, due to its success, is already at the top, whether they do that or not, because we are so well reviewed, and we don't show up for we don't show up because we pay a lot of money. We show up because people review our food and they're like, this is the best and locally the best, so it's just one of those things of where why would you hurt both of us in a sense when we're doing like we have a good system going, we're still making you money, and we're still making money.
Right, but they can manipulate that. And it's kind of like Yelp. When you first start a business out, Yelp calls all the time. Okay, and they call all the time, and hey, subscribe to me, and I'll put all your bad reviews to the bottom and all your good reviews to the top. And I'm like, reviews. And someday, maybe the next episode, we'll do a whole thing on reviews, because that's something that will just drive a restaurateur crazy. Yeah. And we're high volume, and we got lots of funny stories. So we won't talk about reviews, but maybe next time, maybe that's an episode 5 that we'll just talk about. It would be a whole episode. Just the craziest reviews and what goes through people's mind. Kind of leads into like barbecue judging and stuff. It's kind of the same thing, and it's interesting. But anyway, enough about DoorDash. I was pretty. I don't know. I get pretty pissed off about it, to tell you the truth. But you know what? It is what it is.
And it's a service that I was funding it for so long that part of me is like, wow, I can't believe you get.
So now you're not
that.
funding
People,
it. They want more from me.
I know, but I just can't believe that there was enough people not necessarily like me. Well, yeah, like me, that were like, oh wow, these prices are real different, and I even knew that, but.
You didn't.
I was more. Well, not 2 years ago, but
remember that time when you first.
That's when
started,
I was using Eat Street.
You remember that when you.
Remember when you DoorDash like this.
Remember when you DoorDash breakfast?
Well, that's because I thought I'd get in trouble if I left my office. I didn't plan my day long enough.
And I went through the exercise with you. It was kind of funny, but anyway. Speaking, if you're not DoorDashing, what are you cooking?
Well, in the last episode, we talked about how I was drive-throughing, but I'm not even doing that this week. Next week might be different. But this week I cooked. Oh, crazy. I used my stove.
I'm going to fall over.
My gas stove had dust on it. I had to clean my stove before I used it yesterday.
You don't clean your stove on a normal basis?
Well, I mean, I cleaned my stove, but I was like, I was making a joke, boss. Come on.
See, I
don't use it very often.
I never have to call you out because you're just like your mother. You always call yourself out. So what'd you cook?
Okay, so you always talk about how you find your recipes on TikTok. My brother finds his recipes on Instagram. I find my recipes on Pinterest. Like, I go way back. I'm a Pinterest girl. I love it. I was having a friend over.
Too.
Yeah. I had a friend over, and we were doing like a wine Wednesday. I said, hey, do you want to do a charcuterie board, or do you want me to cook? She was like, it'd be kind of nice if we had like a real meal. Okay, so I Pinterest up some stuff, and I'm obsessed with goat cheese. It's my favorite cheese. I love it. I couldn't tell you why. I just think it's so good. And I had found some, and I knew I wanted pasta, so I'd found a tomato goat cheese pasta recipe, and it was delicious. Let me tell you.
It looked good. She sends me a picture, and then I send her a picture of Tasty Tacos. The guy that normally
rolls
cooks
reversed.
every night. The roll was reversed last night, or trying to help Haley get into this house, and I'm on another podcast. I'm on the Addicted to Q YouTube last night or yesterday afternoon, and trying to do a little promotion of ours and talk with those guys. And I get to I'm looking, Sherry walks in the door. It's 4:30, and I'm like,
oh no.
I have not planned dinner, and Sherry's on the kind of the intermittent fasting thing where she wants to eat by 5 or 5:30, 6 o'clock very latest.
Yeah.
If she's eating a meal at 6 o'clock, she will leave half the meal if it hits the clock strikes 6. So I got to
I've
have this
done
meal
that.
ready
That's
at 5
intense.
o'clock, and I'm like,
Yeah.
honey, haven't got anything planned. She goes, oh, well, we need to run around anyway. Let's just go get Tasty Tacos. I'm like, put me in, coach.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, Tasty Tacos,
Yeah.
for, they've been around, a Des Moines institution, been around since 1930, I believe, 1932.
I didn't know
And
it was
it's
that long.
Oh, yeah. Go over to Tasty
I love
Taco
Tasty
and read.
Tacos.
I was reading it last night, and the guy that started it came to Des Moines, and they serve a fry bread taco, and it's the most simplistic. I'm not sure the meat has much seasoning. It's got beans in it and simple cheese and lettuce that they shred
But
in-house.
it's
So
good.
everything's super fresh. Everything's cooked fresh to order. It's just an amazing. And I've got friends that are like James Beard nominated chefs that when they come to Des Moines, I'm taking them for Tasty Tacos, and they appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah. You really just can't go wrong with Tasty Tacos. That's one of my mom's.
Yeah.
If she's like, hey, my mom, when she's wanting to get lunch, it's either, hey, can you deliver the Henri chicken to my office, or do you want to go get Tasty Tacos? Now, 9 out of the 10 times I'm delivering, but every once in a while, I appreciate the Tasty Tacos.
Yeah, it's
That
it's
she-
really good. We had some friends down, and we were trying to figure out Saturday what we were going to have because we knew it was probably going to be a little drink-a-thon. So we thought we'd better have Saturday night. So we thought maybe we ought to get something in our bellies. And my friend
Smart.
Justin and Kate, they come down and said, "Hey, let's make some steamed bao buns with brisket. You got anything?" And I said, "Yeah, I got some salt and pepper brisket that I made in the freezer, and I got some beef cheeks that we'd cooked up." And so he's like, "We need pickled onions." Okay, that's fine. I'll look up a recipe right quick. And I looked up pickled onions. And I made it a couple times before, but it was super simplistic recipe. So I pickled up these onions and we took finely sliced carrots and cucumbers and some red cabbage and put these steam buns. We made our own dough from scratch, and they brought their steamer because I don't have one, even though I might get one for Father's Day. Sherry liked him so much. But we made these steam buns with brisket and beef cheeks with all these stuff, and then we put some of that Bashan's Japanese barbecue sauce, which it's the craze, and everybody's talked about it, and I've never really tasted it, and crazy good. I mean, like, this stuff is addicting good.
That's insane.
So you might want to have some of that in your refrigerator to put on your. It's not going to go on pasta. Forget it.
No.
I'll just bring you some. But it's so good. It's kind of like this teriyaki mix and whatever. And so it was so good. The next day we had a few leftovers, and Sherry's like, "I'm doing this again." So we ate it again, and then we get to the restaurant, and I'm like, I don't think I can pull off making this dough every day and steaming and all this stuff. So I looked at the food service provider, and you can buy a frozen steam bun, and all you have to do is put it in the steamer, throw it in the microwave. You can deep fry it even. So we deep fried a couple, which tasted just like a funnel cake, crazy. But I did the same exact recipe thinking, we're going to try and launch this on the food truck. Kind of, just good food truck item, steam bun. I mean, just crazy good stuff.
Well, I look forward to trying it. But also, that's insane that you guys made that before a drink-a-thon. I would have just, Bebop's drive-through to get a good base. Doesn't have
Emma,
to be.
We're responsible adults. Matter of fact, Justin and Kate, great friends with Lucky's Q.
What?
We just love to cook.
Well, was this before or after drinking? Because if you were already drinking, then obviously you have to cook. Thought you were putting the base in before.
Well, this was during, but really beforehand, actually.
Yeah, so before, I would drive my little Honda Civic up to Bebop's, get me a number 8, eat it in the car, and then boom, crack open a cold one.
What's a number 8?
Oh,
for those that don't know, Bebop's
Bebop's.
is
Local.
Bebop's is a local hamburger
burger
joint.
Oh,
it's
it's
kind of
so
like
good.
they have a double drive-through, so you can go around two lines of traffic, and there's no dine-in, and they put these burgers on this flame griller that's a rotisserie, kind of like the Burger King model,
so good.
and they're greasy. They run down your. I mean, they have good fresh ingredients, and they run down your. They're always best barbecue or best burger in Des Moines.
Yeah, as they should be. But a number 8 is a quarter pounder with bacon, pretty much like a double. Double. I don't know how to explain it. Quarter pounder with bacon, I think, is actually what it is. Now that I've said that. With lettuce, tomato, onion, mayo,
lettuce,
ketchup, mayo, all the good stuff.
No onion. No
That's how I order mine. No onion, with a chocolate shake if I'm feeling crazy. Their shakes are also so good. It's just a nice little. I like the vibe. The aesthetic is also very like 1950 diner. I think it helps them too.
It is. They do a great job. Couple Des Moines. If you're ever in Des Moines, couple Des Moines. Institutions. People always like, hey, I'm coming to Smoky D's. What should I get? And I'm like, if I was you, I'd go to Tasty Taco and Bebop's.
Yeah. I mean,
Richard,
you can come if you want like
Fergola
a nice.
Richard Fergola from Fergalicious Barbecue in Kansas City. He used to live in Des Moines, and that's his two institutions when he comes to Des Moines.
Yeah. If you want a nice sit down and socialize with your family and friends, come to Smoky D's. But if you're like, I could just use a quick drive-through or get in, get out kind of meal, Tasty Tacos or Bebop's are the place to go. My sister, I have two siblings that live in Cedar Falls, and both of them can't wait to come home just to have a Bebop's burger. I think my sister could live off of them, honestly.
Wow.
And she's a picky eater, which is crazy. I think she just gets a cheeseburger, though, like just cheese and a patty. I know.
Crazy.
It's okay.
Crazy.
Can't win them all.
Okay, well,
the
question is, do we have anything else that we need to talk about? Because, in Iowa today, it's 80 degrees outside. I had to shut the blinds because the sun was shining. I got the tomatoes planted, and I planted some Thai basil and carrots and cucumbers last night. And now it's time to go fertilize the yard.
I didn't know you gardened.
I just have little planters and stuff, but I do love to garden.
You learn something new about this guy every day.
Every day. Emma learned a lot just in comments.
Oh my gosh.
Today.
Yeah, your friends are crazy. I as a social media gal, after posting our podcast on Facebook, I saw that Darren shared it, and I like to go, kind of scope it out, primarily to compare likes, because normally anytime I share anything or he shares anything, it does like a way better, and I get kind of offended, but it's okay. And so I went and I was reading. He had so many comments. I was going through and reading them, and I was like, I feel like I shouldn't be reading this, because some of them were very just your buddies, but I was like, I didn't need to know this about my boss.
She didn't like the picture of me with these 3 scantily clad women, and it was a Playboy golf outfit.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
I could just tell by the vibe when you saw it. You're like, really? And so
I was just surprised.
I mean, but for years, the Playboy golf outing would come to Des Moines, and the guy would come in and say, hey, you want to be a sponsor of this event? Give me a meal halfway cheap, and I'll give you 4 golfers, and go hang around and cater to a bunch of like 30 or 40 Playboy bunnies. Wait, it was my arm. That was kind of fun. Jeez. That was better than yoga on TikTok.
I was more impressed. I think they call it the clone sickle.
Yeah,
that's frat boy energy. I respect it.
Yeah, so that's a little competition thing. So years ago, the clone sickle.
Yeah.
So there was a QOW was a team. Barbecue Owl is what, and we called him Qual. And actually, when they'd win a lot, Sherry would sit at awards, and they'd get their name called, and she actually had a pillow made that said "fucking Qual." Right? We still have still have it in our trailer. It said "fucking Qual." They've seen it. They love it. But anyway, Scotty Johnson had his daughters, and he'd always send his daughters, who were really young at that point. They'd walk over and they'd try and get barbecue secrets. And he said, QOW said, well, geez, just give me a bomb pop. I'll tell you anything you need to know. right? So that was the joke, that he would give them one of them bomb popsicles. And so when Scotty, I'm like, bomb pop, I want whiskey. So anyway, he started, and he took a bottle of Gentleman Jack when it used to be in the old octagonal bottle, and froze it in a block of ice. And I was the smoking clones back then, you know. So it was it became the clone sickle, and the clone sickle became famous. I mean, Guy Fieri's had the clone sickle.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had this thing. People for years, we used to drink the clone sickle at the 922 shot. That was a deal, and we always had a clone sickle, and it's something that's kind of subsided over the years. But it's still vivid. It's still vivid memories, and there's just so much stuff that you share on the barbecue circuit. But it was a picture of me in 2006. I was in Dubuque, Iowa. Remember it like was yesterday. Drinking the clone sickle. We cooked the barbecue contest. I remember because as soon as we got done with the contest, I'm pulling out of the fairgrounds and I ripped my awning off on the corner of the building at the state fairgrounds. And I just vividly remember that. Maybe I had a little too much clone sickle. I don't know.
Oh, jeez.
So anyway, but it's sunny outside, and I
might
think
need
it's
a clone
time
sickle,
to,
honestly.
But you stay there and work, okay?
Yeah, I got it like an hour and a half. It's fine.
And then
I'll push
and then
through.
tomorrow, and push.
I'm gonna have a clone sickle.
I'm gonna push through. Yeah.
I was kidding.
Emma negotiated into her work contract that she gets to work from home one day a week, and
actually, I didn't negotiate that at all. You offered that so that I would come work for you, because I was like, I don't know, I'm fully remote. Okay. It's kind of nice. I didn't do that. That was offered.
So every time I purposely call her on Fridays like 15 times to make sure she's working, and every time I call her, I don't call her that many times, but I do call her. Just because I want something, and she's in this ruckus, and and she's always in the coffee shop. And she's like, I can concentrate so much better, and I'm like, boy, there's an age gap thing there. I mean, it's like if I'm going to concentrate, I need to be in a room with nothing, and no music, no nothing, and she needs ruckus in her background.
I need noise.
And I'm like, how do you focus? You need noise? How do you focus?
Yeah, there's a lot. Well, we could get into that, but that's probably a whole other episode in itself.
Right. So anyway, so you can have all the noise you want tomorrow. You can put your headset on, and you can start going through these podcasts and editing them out so we can get them out to our fine people that are listening. And
our listeners,
let us know.
Our followers.
Yeah, our listeners. Yeah, and let us know if there's stuff you want to hear about. We're always looking for content. We'll talk about some reviews, but if there's restaurant stuff, if there's catering stuff, competition stuff, whatever you want. Ideas. If there's things you want us to talk about, hey, we're just here to talk. Emma just wants me to talk, and I'm pretty good at it. We're about 40 minutes plus in today, and we're getting really good at this, Emma. I'm proud of us.
Yeah, honestly, we are. I knew we could do it. We do this every day. We just weren't doing it with microphones before.
Yeah, now we got a microphone in front, so hopefully, hopefully you're happy that I've got
Thank
the
you,
setup.
Greg. I appreciate it. I tried. Okay. He was like, I don't want that thing in front of me.
Until next time, what? Subscribe? Click the link? What do you do? Ring the bell? What do you do? What do you do?
Hit those thumbs up. Subscribe. If you're on YouTube, click the bell to get notifications when we post. It'll be every Monday. And then our podcast listeners, follow us, leave reviews, rate us. I don't know, download. I think that's the thing that podcasters say. We're learning. But yeah.
And share it.
Yeah, show us that you're here. I think.
Show us that you're here and leave some comments for us. And we're all about feedback and, what do you want us to talk about gentle. Next? Because don't leave any bad comments about Emma. She takes them a little personally. Darren's pretty broad. He's used to reviews, which we'll talk about next time.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, okay. For now, I think that's episode 4. Cue the mic.
Okay. Done. I'm out of here.
Yeah. See you guys.